Damn it. Hi, so this is Melanie, and I will be analyzing Red Dead Redemption 2 and how it's important in our American society and how American society has essentially led up to how this game is produced and its importance essentially. Um, we all know how big and popular the westerns were in the golden age of Hollywood. Like Eastwood, John Wayne. I mean, we have a airport in Orange County named after him, and he didn't even live here, was born here. But the appeal of westerns were essentially the ideal American. Well, actually, I'm a little distracted. Let's go interact with Stu. So some cool things about the interactiveness is that, so this dude is begging. He said he's blind. So I'm going to actually aim my weapon at him. And he's actually blind, okay. I'll give him some 50 cents.
Oh, thank you, sir. Truly, thank you. It means a lot to me.
You're welcome. So back to the westerns topic. Westerns were essentially the epitome of the American ideals that were so important in the early 19th century. You know, cowboys were these masculine men who were fearless, and they would, you know, masculinity was such a big thing back then that these were like the ideal like men that people really wanted to be. And the West was full of the unknown. There was no laws. It was a new frontier. And Americans really, really wanted to explore it. And it's basically, I mean, after the 60s, the new frontier became space, obviously, but because these movies were made in such an important time where Hollywood was like just filming and filming them and just making shows and movies about westerns, like it was, if you ask any person that was born during that time, they for sure talk about the cowboy and Indian shows that they grew up watching. But as you can see, the popularity of cowboys has bled into the 21st century. Here I am playing the most American game I could have analyzed for this class on it. But since Rockstar knew that people really liked westerns and how those ideals were so important to American society, they included so many references to those western movies, such as like the cinematic camera they can change to be like you were in a western, like so people can finally feel like they're an actual cowboy. I could never play like that though. It's kind of hard. um, but since people really love this western genre, I believe Rockstar did their best to try to have players be as interactive as possible with this game. So you can actually lose health for not maintaining your body, such as eating, or you can be underweight, like Arthur right now. He is underweight for me. You can check the stats by just going into the menu and going into player. You can see their weight, their temperature. You can see your horse's stats as well. See if you're maintaining your horse well. And these all play into the game. If you're not upkeeping your horse or your person, then you're going to be losing health. And another aspect that's really, really important in this game is that you have to maintain your gun. So, the magic circle is really broad in this game. Like, you have to take care of everything. You have to pay attention to every little detail. Um, so if you go into your weapon slot, you can go into your, let's see, let's look for a dirtier weapon. So let's say this weapon, if you try to use it, it's obviously not going to be in the same condition as you bought it. So in order to maintain it, you have to go into the menu, press R3 to maintain, and use gun oil that you find around the map or you buy from the general stores to clean it. There you go. But yeah, the magic circle is really important in this game, and I think the developers took that into account when making everything. Good morning. Everybody just greets you, and you know, it's like you're actually there. The only thing that I will argue that is not very accurate to the time is that the game that Arthur is in is very diverse, and you know, during those days it was. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get through. During those times, it wasn't as accepting with diversity. I know, like, the Emancipation Proclamation was a few decades before this game is taking place, but we have an Irish woman in our gang. We have a mixed Native American black man in our gang. And Arthur is basically blindsided to race. This one interaction that he had was with a black man, and he essentially, the black man was scared of Arthur because he was scared that he was, you know, breathing the same air as him, as a black person should back then, because white men were so hostile. But Arthur is basically so confused on why this black man was so scared of him. So I will say that that's the only aspect that I will criticize, but yeah, I mean, there are aspects of racism around the game, such as the other time I killed this man who was promoting eugenics, and I got no consequences for it, which is also not very accurate to the game or history, but you know. You can do anything here. Just like any Western, you can basically have the freedom to do whatever you want. And that's what was so appealing to the American audience, is that the freedoms that you have, and you could just do whatever you want in the Wild West. You know, those values of manifest destiny were bled into the Western films and the American values of that time. But yeah, so even though I didn't really play through and showed you a lot of the game, I mean, you can see how everybody interacts and like the basic mechanics of this game. Like, you'll even have different scenarios where NPCs will just randomly have encounters with you and will interrupt your game, and that also plays into the immersiveness, because if you were to play that in the same area at a different time, those interactions wouldn't happen. So that's what also makes this game so appealing. That was man just playing harmonica. Good job. But yeah, if you haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. Super cool. Even if you just like want to walk around, just ride around, you can. There's also other people who dedicate themselves to just hunting the animals or collecting card games. I mean, sorry, like cigarette cards. But yeah. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope that this was somewhat interesting. Let her vote. Alright, so this is my analysis of Red Dead Redemption 2. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope that it's somewhat more appealing and interesting, and hope you learned something from it. Thanks for listening.